Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files 01 by John Wagner, Brian Bolin, and Mike McMahon. I believe it's art by... Who did the art for this? I believe it's Carlos Ezquerra. But anyhow, so I wanted to do another European comic, and I guess I ordered Blueberry 2, and I never got it, and I'm still waiting on it right now. So I will do another Blueberry book. Really enjoy Mobius's art, and I honestly enjoy the story of Blueberry 2. But decided I'd go to the Jolly Land of England in 2000 AD. And when you think 2000 AD, the comic, catalog in England, the UK, you think of Judge Dredd. Now, Judge Dredd is... I have a very close friend who loves this character. I actually have very little experience with Judge Dredd or 2000 AD comics in general. Just being honest. I think I remember watching some clips on YouTube of Sylvester Stallone and his really corny Judge Dredd, which, as corny as it is still really funny to watch those clips. I am the law. And I figured I'd check out the source material and see what the differences were. For what little I know. I'm coming in kind of blind, and I will say this has been an interesting read. The title of the video is First Impressions Judge Dredd, because I think that's the best way I could explain it. So I guess in 2000 AD, they don't really separate the issues by like story names, chapters, or issue numbers or anything. So I'm not sure, I don't know what issue of 2000 AD this first comic of Judge Dredd comes in from. And very interesting. Judge Dredd, basically, it works almost like a really, really old comic, in the sense that it's all like 1 to 2, maybe 4 pages of story, and that's it. And then I assume you get maybe the next one, I'm guessing like a week later or something like that. I'm not sure how 2000 AD worked. I don't know if it was a weekly publication in the United Kingdom. But anyhow, the setting is, so this is Judge Dredd. The setting's New York, 2099 AD. There's massive skyscrapers that now pretty much make up all of New York, even larger than the Empire State Building, which is funny because the Empire State Building isn't really the largest building in the New York skyline by any measure anymore. But so world's kind of a bit in ruins, and there's a bunch of criminals in the lower parts of the city. And to make things easy, they create these lawmen called judges, and they're elected by the people to enforce the law. And they kind of judge, jury, executioner, the whole thing. So you get an introduction of a really cool scene too, a lot of landscaping. I don't know if do British comics color? I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's black and white, right? Everything's black and white in the UK. And so you get an introduction to a criminal named Whitey. He ambushes a judge named Alvin and kills him. And he takes his badge and his uniform, proclaims himself Judge Whitey, and sends a message to the judges. And you also get an introduction of Dredd. Dredd is a very, very famous judge, very good at keeping the crime down and bringing the law. But so they get a message from Whitey that he's killed Judge Alvin, and he's taken his badge and his uniform, and Judge Dredd is not gonna take that shit. So no, who's gonna have respect for the law? So he actually wants to his boss, the Grand Judge, wants to actually bomb the living crap out of Whitey for doing that. But Judge Dredd actually stops him and says, no, who's going to have respect for the law if we have to call in the heavy boys as soon as the going gets tough? I'll go alone. I don't know, dude. I can't stop myself from trying to do a heavy voice with Judge Dredd just because I feel it's so appropriate. So anyhow, he tricks Whitey by using his bike as a decoy. He shoots up his whole gang and beats the crap out of Whitey. dispatches them, sends them to jail, and Whitey kind of claims, "Oh, nothing can hold me." And you get an introduction to another aspect of the universe, which is Devil's Island, which is sort of like Alcatraz on crack with like super vehicles flying around where you can't escape. And you get a great sort of a great tagline for this. You think about it, right? It's only like, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. That's it. So that's one story of 2080 is a weekly publication. All right, there we go. I'm kind of learning right here. I'm not familiar with Judge Dredd, so I'm kind of learning as we go. So he puts up Alvin's badge up on the law they died defending. The law. I kind of like that. What sucks is reading these comics, I'm almost like, it's hard not to get Sylvester Stallone's damn voice in your head when you're reading it. It's pretty bad. It's a great line right here, maybe, but in my book, that's the only way to go. In defense of the law. So the next story, next week, Judge Dredd hunts down a criminal that changes his face, right? It's a pretty short story. This guy, after he changes his face, he's able to drive right next to Judge Dredd, and he thinks he's got him tricked, but Judge Dredd actually has a computer on board his motorcycle that allows him to detect his voice. So he gets the jump on this guy and wrecks him and brings him into jail. And the next week, Judge Dredd is dealing with these mutants that live outside the city that can't see, that can only live in the darkness, and they kidnap a prominent person in the city, and Judge Dredd has to go undercover and rescue everybody. Pretty cool. You also see the effects of atomic warfare. So there's massive insects and stuff. And he uses a light bomb and a bunch of other stuff to escape. And it's pretty, kind of normie fare for the most part for Judge Dredd. Again, it's fascinating to see these 5-page stories because they're so, this is even shorter. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you get Judge Dredd every week, but it's only like 4 to 5 pages of Judge Dredd. I mean, this is kind of interesting. I mean, he's a cool character. I don't know if I like this format so much. Just because it almost feels like an extended Sunday comic strip rather than, feeling like an actual comic book. But maybe it's because 2000 AD is like this grand publication, right? So they got to jam. Everybody's got to get compressed down to 4 to 5 pages, right? But I don't know. Maybe there are British people in the comment section that can tell me, their feelings on this. But character's really cool. I'm just not really fond of the format. So in this last adventure I'm going to go over, he is dealing with somebody killing all the executives to a company called where is it? Censor Round, right? And when he finally chases the salesman down as the one who's been killing all the executives, he has to actually face his robot, which is King Kong, and the judge's bike cannon and his handgun isn't doing anything to the monster, so he ends up launching his bike right into King Kong's mouth and exploding it, and King Kong falls on the bad guy and kills him, right? All your dreams were crushed, O'Neill, but with dreams like yours, who needs nightmares? It is these. So I don't. I'm going to assume that Judge Dredd isn't always like this. He isn't always so. I should say the storytelling isn't so simple. A lot of the early Judge Dredds, from what I can read through, they're kind of simple stories. Even though the judge is still kind of maintains his severe personality, but. It's an interesting read, and I'm not sure if the format ever changes. I think I would continue doing Judge Dredd if I knew there was maybe a graphic novel or just longer stories. I think, but I will read through the rest of this just because it is kind of entertaining, and I do have fun reading these and imagining Sylvester Stallone's voice. But I don't know what to say. I like Judge Dredd. I just don't really like the format that 2000 AD has. But maybe that's me. Anyhow, if you like the review, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on Judge Dredd, especially the early ones that I'm going over in this video, leave them down below, and I will see you next time.